True Singaporean Ghost Stories, a dive into the supernatural. Welcome to a chilling exploration of true ghost stories from Singapore. These tales are not just figments of imagination, they are experiences shared by individuals who encountered the paranormal in their everyday lives. From ghost weddings to haunted dollhouses, these narratives will send shivers down your spine. Let's delve into these eerie accounts and uncover the mysteries that lie within. The mysterious ghost wedding. Imagine sitting at home, engrossed in your phone, when suddenly you feel a chill in the air. This was the reality for one young individual who witnessed what they believed to be a ghost wedding. As they looked up, they saw a group of individuals dressed in red, including a lady with a veil, walking from the kitchen to the front door. What makes this story particularly eerie is the fact that these figures seem to emerge from nowhere, crawling through the kitchen window instead of using the front door. It raises the question, why do spirits prefer unconventional entrances? This encounter left a lasting impression, leading to a visit to a temple for prayers to ward off the unsettling experience. The sinister knock. Another story comes from a child who experienced a chilling event one night. As their mother prepared for bed, a knock echoed from the door, accompanied by a voice that sounded just like their father's. Excited, the child rushed to open the door, only to be pulled back by their mother, who insisted it wasn't their father. The tension escalated as the voice continued to plead from the other side. After a few moments, the knocking ceased, and the mother revealed the truth. Their father was out of the country. This revelation sent shivers down the child's spine, highlighting the thin veil between the living and the spirits. The haunted dollhouse. In a rather curious twist, one couple found a dollhouse abandoned beneath their void deck. Initially, they thought it would be a delightful gift for their niece. However, when strange occurrences began to unfold, they quickly reconsidered their decision. One night, they heard a doorbell ringing, but it wasn't from their front door. Instead, it came from the dollhouse, sending their pets into a panic. After removing the batteries, they thought they were in the clear. Yet their cat was found with a rope tied around her tail, a rope that had mysteriously come from the dollhouse. Frightened by the events, they returned the dollhouse to where they found it, realizing that some items are better left undisturbed. Shadows in the night. Not all encounters are as light-hearted. One individual recounted living in a haunted flat where shadows were a common sight. Their mother, sensitive to the supernatural, often saw a woman in red standing at the window, while strange noises plagued their home. Despite being empty, the playroom would echo with the sounds of marbles rolling, leading to complaints from neighbors who heard the disturbances early in the morning. The haunting was tied to a tragic backstory of a couple whose lives ended in despair within those very walls. A warehouse encounter. In a more recent tale, a worker at a warehouse experienced a series of unsettling events during the Hungry Ghost Festival. Tasked with retrieving files from a dark, deserted level, he heard footsteps above him, despite there being no accessible way for anyone to be there. As he searched for his file, the sounds grew louder and the lights suddenly turned off, leaving him in pitch darkness. In a moment of bravery, he challenged the unseen presence, asserting his dominance. Surprisingly, the sounds ceased, but he was left with scratch marks on his arms, a stark reminder of the encounter. Reflections on the unseen. These stories are not just entertaining tales, they reflect the rich cultural tapestry of Singaporean beliefs regarding the supernatural. Each narrative carries with it a sense of history and tradition, illustrating how deeply intertwined the living and the spirits can be. Whether through ghost weddings, haunting noises, or eerie encounters in the dark, these experiences remind us that there is much we do not understand about the world around us. They challenge our perceptions of reality and invite us to explore the unknown. Conclusion. As we wrap up this journey through the supernatural, it's essential to remember that these stories resonate with many who have experienced similar phenomena. They serve as a reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding and the stories that linger in the shadows. For those who dare to explore, whether through ghost hunting or simply listening to tales of the paranormal, the world is full of surprises. Embrace the unknown, respect the spirits, and always keep an open mind. Until next time, Stay curious and cautious. Chilling encounters. True horror stories that will keep you up at night. Horror stories often draw their power from the true experiences of those who lived them. In this blog post, we delve into a series of spine-tingling true horror stories that showcase the eerie, unsettling, and sometimes terrifying moments that can occur in the most mundane settings. Prepare yourself for tales of the unknown that blur the lines between reality and the supernatural. Late-night exploration gone wrong. Our first tale takes us to San Antonio, Texas, where a young man, then 18 years old, found himself seeking thrills in the midst of a pandemic. With schools closed and the world seemingly on pause, he and his girlfriend Clarissa decided to explore a wooded park known as Obschnabel at 3 a.m. Despite the park's daytime charm, it held a dark history, including the brutal murder of a woman just a few years prior. As they ventured deeper into the park, the darkness enveloped them and the atmosphere shifted. Suddenly, a haunting sound pierced the stillness, a flute playing a melodic tune that echoed through the trees. Clarissa, gripped by fear, began to tremble and pray, her anxiety palpable. The flute's music seemed to draw nearer, and despite the couple's attempts to escape, they found themselves trapped between two ominous forces. In a moment of panic, they heard rustling in the bushes, followed by something large dashing across their path. The couple sprinted back, adrenaline pumping, only to find the flute playing again, louder and more insistent. The haunting melody surrounded them, leaving them with a chilling sense of dread. With no rational explanation for the flute's origin or the mysterious entity that had crossed their path, the experience lingered in their minds long after they escaped the woods. Haunted by sleep deprivation. Our next story shifts to a hospital in northwest Alabama, where a pharmacy technician faced the eerie consequences of sleep deprivation. After working night shifts for several days, he decided to visit his wife, who was babysitting her cousins. Despite his exhaustion, he couldn't sleep, leading to a long stretch of wakefulness that would soon blur the lines of reality. On his shift, he experienced unsettling occurrences, doors creaking open with no one in sight and a fleeting glimpse of a figure rummaging through a medical supply bin. As he delivered medications on the 5th floor, he was confronted with a chilling sight, an old man in a hospital bed, shaking violently and groaning in distress. But when he returned to check, the room was empty and the bed neatly made, leaving him questioning his sanity. Later, while waiting for the elevator, he encountered the same old man, only to find that the figure vanished as quickly as he appeared. The technician was left grappling with the unsettling possibility that his lack of sleep had induced hallucinations, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked within the hospital's walls. A night of terror at home. The final story unfolds in a seemingly safe neighborhood where a young woman found herself home alone while her boyfriend was away. After a night of watching scary movies with friends, she was startled by the doorbell ringing late at night. Initially dismissing it as a prank, her heart raced when the doorbell rang again, followed by a voice outside asking for help. In a state of panic, she called her boyfriend, who urged her to stay inside and not open the door. But the terror escalated when she heard knocking at her window, accompanied by a voice claiming to know she was home. Fearing for her safety, she called the police, only to be met with dismissive officers who didn't take her fears seriously. After a restless night, she returned home the next day, only to find the basement door wide open and a chilling voice from below calling her name. In a moment of sheer terror, she slammed the door shut and sought refuge with a neighbor while calling the police again. This time, the officers were more respectful, but the young woman was left grappling with the fear that someone had been lurking in her home. Lessons learned from fear. These true horror stories highlight the fragility of safety and the unexpected terror that can lurk in familiar places. Each encounter serves as a reminder to trust your instincts, remain vigilant, and never underestimate the power of fear. Whether it's a haunting melody in the woods, the eerie silence of a hospital, or the unsettling feeling of being watched at home, these experiences leave an indelible mark on those who live them. As we conclude these chilling tales, it's essential to remember that the scariest stories are often rooted in reality. They remind us of our vulnerabilities and the realities that can haunt us long after the lights go out. Stay safe, keep your doors locked, and always be aware of your surroundings, because you never know what might be lurking just out of sight.